Hi, I'm John in Lawrenceville, and this is an update on my bed bug infestation. Whew, man, it's cold out here. Okay, so last week on Friday was February 14th. So last Friday was the 21st. Today's Sunday, 22nd, 23rd. So today's February 23rd, 2013. My first video of having the bed bug problem was, I believe, November 16th is when I put out the traps and had everything start off, see if it would work. I did the videos showing different kinds of traps I made, variations, but the mixture, water, sugar, and yeast has always been the same. I did not like using the metal cans, the soup cans. I believe there's something going on because it was a metal container and it was not as effective. Maybe it was just as effective. I don't know. But my first batch in the plastic containers got a lot of those damn things. I mean, a lot of them. Big ones and the tiny ones. I believe the second video I showed where the babies, I believe they were babies, were stuck to the bottles because some of that sugar water got onto the bottles at the bottom and made it all sticky. And you can see where they were stuck to it. They climbed up somehow and got stuck. I mean, there's a lot of them, hundreds of them on each bottle. Anyway, so when I did the metal containers, the soup containers, you could say the first phase of the operation was a success, so now we were just dealing with the leftovers. So maybe I did not kill as many as in the first batch because the containers were soup cans, or because, I killed a lot already and there wasn't much left to kill. But I just don't care for them. I mean, I like how stable they were. Now that I think it over, I just have an idea because of how stable these soup cans were. Maybe I'll just stick those water bottles inside the soup cans, wrap them up with the Ziploc bag like before, stick them in the container, and do it like before. And maybe the bed bugs will be able to crawl up that metal. I doubt it though. If they could, then they'd be going inside in the metal containers to the bottles, and they'd die. I might do that. Yeah. I can tape a paper towel around the metal soup cans so that they can climb up it and go in, and when they get down to the bottom they can't get out because if they cannot climb the metal cans, well, they will not be able to climb out of the metal, and they will not be able to climb the plastic bottles to get out, and they die of CO2 poisoning or starvation or water, whatever kills them, it kills them. Does a good job. Anyway, so to bring all this up to date now, it's really, really good news and it's kind of bad news. Okay, the really, really good news part of it is I wouldn't know there were bed bugs in my house if I first walked in. If I was a stranger and I walked in and I slept for a week or two on your floor, on your futon, or on the bed, I wouldn't know there were bed bugs in there biting the hell out of me. Why? I haven't been scratching myself or nothing. I haven't seen them or anything. But, that was, I have to say, to get to that final situation where you don't see anymore, you don't feel them, they don't bite you anymore, it's probably 8 weeks to 10 weeks after changing out this mixture every 2 weeks. That's the good news part of it. So basically it seems like I don't have any more bed bugs. Seems like it. That's the bad news. About 2 weeks ago, so almost the first week after February, I hadn't changed my water for like 6 weeks. I haven't changed nothing for like 6 weeks because I call myself lazy, but man, I've been working from 6:30 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, busting my ass with physical labor and everything at work, building seats for Toyota's Highlander, something else, I don't know. I don't really care. I just do what I'm supposed to so I can get done and make that good paycheck. Anyway, so I hadn't changed it for a while, but I haven't had any problems. Well, about 2 weeks or so ago, about 4 weeks ago, the plastic cover thingy that was on the futon, that was made for the futon, that my brother went and bought to put on there so he wouldn't have to deal with a plastic sheet. So I hadn't bought a plastic sheet for it yet. I bought one for my recliner. Well, it was on the futon. About 4 weeks ago, my brother took it off because it started coming down and he wasn't getting any bites. So he took it off to try it, and he wasn't getting any more bites because he's been sleeping on it. Anyway, no bed bug bites whatsoever. I'm like, great. Yeah, maybe we killed them all or something. And so that was like 4 weeks ago. Well, about 2 weeks ago, my nephew had spent the night or two, just hanging out and stuff. And he's like 20-something years old. And he told me he's seen a bed bug. It was crawling on his leg in the middle of the night, like 1 or 2 in the morning. He was up playing video games or whatever on the computer. And it was on his leg, so he flicked it off. And before I could say, "What? You didn't crush it? You didn't kill it?" I want him to die. I mean, I wasn't going to jump his ass. I was just telling him, kill them all. That's what I say to him, kill them all. Anyway, before I could say all that, or any of it actually, he said, but then a few minutes, about whatever amount of time it took for him to get done playing games, he decided to lay down and go to sleep. He was laying down there and he felt one crawling on his neck, so he reached up and grabbed it and seen it, and he squished it, and blood spurted everywhere. I'm like, really? It squirted everywhere? He goes, yep. But man, that means they've been feeding. Dang. And, they must be not very many of them. It's my belief from my experience with the bed bugs now that if you have a lot of them, like I did before that first batch killed all those baby bed bugs, if you have a lot of them, then you're going to start scratching yourself like crazy, like I was in the video. But if you only have a few and they've been feeding off of it, you probably won't even notice it. You probably don't even notice. You might take off your socks and go, "Ooh, my leg itches." And you scratch it, and that'll be it. Now, you're done with the scratching. But if you have a lot of them, you'll probably be scratching like crazy. And it's 2 or 3 days after the bite, according to the internet. That's how long it takes. Anyway, so about 2 weeks ago, my nephew told me that. So I'm like, oh man. But just so you know, the recliner, when the futon plastic was taken off and there were no more bites, the recliner plastic has been getting pushed down slowly all the time, down to the crack of your butt. So only the bottom half was covered with plastic. So eventually my brother, he cleaned up the living room and he watered that thing up into a big old ball and stuck it in a 5-gallon bucket I had in one of my other rooms. So neither the recliner or the futon had any plastic on there. The only thing that was protected was my bed. I ain't getting bed bugs again. Screw that. I ain't sleeping with them things. Dang it. Anyway, so I was upset. I was like, man, I got those bed bugs. Dang it. Now I'm trying to remember this next story. I just finally remembered it. Okay. So about 3 or 4 nights ago, I had this light blanket that I carry on my bed. What I've been doing, because it's winter time, is I keep my house kind of warm, on the warm side. So when you lay down and go to sleep, it's natural to cover up with a blanket or a sheet or whatever. Well, because the house is warm, I just cover up with a sheet and go to sleep. I'm comfortable. I feel good. Well, sheets fell on the floor, whatever. And I seen this light blanket, so I picked it up and put it on. That was a while ago. Well, 2 or 3 days ago, I was sitting on my bed, messing around with my computer, my laptop, and I had the blanket wrapped around me because I have a fan that blows on me, and it's a little chilly. And I'm telling you everything, so don't leave nothing out. Anyway, I'm like this. I'm looking down at the computer. I seen something out of the corner of my eye move. I'm like, what the hell was that? I look, ain't nothing there. But from my experience in the past, if I can't explain it because there's a smudge on my glasses or something, just keep your head there, and you'll probably see whatever it is moving in. So, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't see nothing. And this is like a blue patterned blanket, like white and blue. I think it was like pinstripes, but it's not. It's a nice colorful pattern, but you got white, blue, all over the place. So if anything moves across there and it's not white or blue, I'm going to see that thing. So the blanket's all wavy a little bit. So I'm looking. All of a sudden, there's a big fat bed bug crawls up to the top of the wave. I'm like, what the? And as soon as I reach over to try to grab it, he tries to move. And he was a fast freaking thing. I'm like, gotcha. Grabbed him. Killed him. Blood everywhere. He was thick and dark colored. He looked different than the bed bugs in the previous videos because he's more of an oval shaped. Like mostly round, but kind of like an oval on the end, sort of like an egg. And when I had researched bed bugs in the past, to find out more about them, there's all kinds of different shaped ones. Whether they're adults or babies or just normal Joe Schmo bed bug, there's a lot of different shapes of them. And so I got different kinds of bed bugs. Dang it. Anyway, so I haven't felt any bed bug bites, and it's starting to get to be in spring. So now my plan is to get my traps reset, make the mixture again, and set them out in the same spots and let them do their job. To me, I feel like, how can I say this right? I feel like a country that has kicked some ass, killed off almost all the enemy, and has stationed soldiers at the prime locations. So when the enemy combatants want to come over and kick some ass again, they're gonna die, and I ain't gotta do nothing about it. I'm just like, haha, I have up all these defensive measures, and I'm kicking your ass, and I'm killing you. So, yes, this bed bug trap system works great, but you have to keep on it, because once you're past the initial stage of not being bitten all the time and not seeing them all the time, once you're past that to where you got the traps put away where they'll be an eyesore, but they still do their job, do a great job. Well, 2 weeks later, it's starting to stink in the house, and the stink is like a beer yeast or something, you know. So it's like, you know, beer being brewed or whatever. Well, after 4 to 6 weeks of having this stuff in my house, I didn't smell it anymore. But my nephew had come over. He goes, "Man, what's that smell? You smell beer all over the floor or something?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm used to that smell. Or I couldn't smell it one little bit, but he's standing up, walking through the house. He's like, man, I smell that everywhere." So yeah, I got used to the smell. But like I said, I've been lazy. I didn't change it out for a while. So my best guess is don't let this go for more than 2 weeks. Okay, so don't do it for more than 2 weeks without changing it out. Now, when you do change it out, make sure you use a rag or something to rinse it out. Rinse out your container really good. The container that houses the dead bugs. Now, what I did was I took the trap and bottles and everything into the kitchen sink that was empty, nothing in there. I took the drainer thing out so those bed bugs can't hold on to it and live later. And then I took the bottles of water out, put them in the sink, got my trap, went to the toilet, and I got some water from the sink. And I just, poured the bed bugs in there in the toilet because I didn't want them to. Anyway, when I realized I could get my paper towel soaking wet, and I realized I'm tired of dumping water from the bathroom sink to this trap into the toilet, so I said to heck with it. Went back to the kitchen sink, and I turned on the hot water, and I just watered out the inside as good as I can. Got a rag and cleaned them all out, and put the rag in the washing machine when I was done, so if any of the bed bugs were still alive and they were attached to it, their ass is going to get washed away as soon as I get the laundry going. And I believe they cannot crawl up the metal, so if that is true, then they're not coming out of that washing machine anytime soon. Anyway, somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I did not get the paper towels around the traps, the square container. I did not get them wet. A little damp here and there, but I figure they'll air dry and they'll still be usable as a climbing surface for the bed bugs. So it worked great. So, once you clean out the trap real good and set it aside, then leave your Ziploc bag out of the way and dump out the fluid inside your bottles and do it all over again. If you want this to work really well, as far as the yeast and everything, make sure the water coming out of your sink is room temperature or slightly a bit warm, but not hot. Don't do hot. Why? Because when you stick that yeast inside your cup of water to get it activated and let it sit for 10 minutes, and it wants to foam up and out of your cup, it won't do that hardly at all if you use hot water. I mean, kind of hot or hot, it ain't going to work. You just want just barely warm or room temperature. Don't do cold. The city water usually has chemicals in it to keep it clean and all that, and they say if you put the water like in a 5-gallon bucket or something, pot, pan, whatever, and let it sit for an hour, the chemical stuff, bleach, chlorine, whatever, gets aired out. It's pretty much not in there anymore after sitting an hour. So I would recommend that. Let it sit for an hour on your stove or kitchen table or something in a pot or a pan, and then pour it into that cup and add your yeast and let it foam up and then stick it in there. I did videos on how to do it. Anyway, after the bed bug incident on my blanket on my shoulder, the next day I took off my pants to go take a shower. Side of my leg itched like crazy for a second, and I was scratching. I'm like, oh man, am I getting bed bug bites again? What? And after that, it just like itched for a moment. Yeah, if you see my other videos at the beginning, I was scratching all the time, every time, all day long. The whole video I was scratching. Well, I'm talking about I just scratched myself, like a normal itch, just scratched it for a little bit, call it quits, and that was it. So, symptoms of bed bugs, scratching all the time, I don't have that anymore. I don't. And I believe mostly that is due to 2 factors. So I killed off a lot of them at the beginning, and it's freaking cold outside. And I think they have some sort of system in them, you know, hibernation, whatever. But I believe I'll see them coming back, any of them are alive, that are sleeping away somewhere. I believe they'll come back and they'll go right to my traps, because I'm gonna keep those traps going, replaced every 2 weeks. You know, the liquid inside of them replaced every 2 weeks. Even if you don't see bed bugs in your traps whenever you go to replace them, if you've seen them before and you'll see them now, unless you put water on your bottles and let the baby bed bugs climb up there, you're not going to see them. You're not. Because it's like looking at the dust bunnies that are in the air when the sunlight's coming through the window, the dust is circling around. It's just like that, because they haven't fed off you yet. They're stuck to those bottles. That's why I was able to see them. And I showed them on the camera in like the second or third video or whatever. So make sure that you clean out your traps very well, so that anything that's still alive in there is not going back into the house. It's going down your drain or toilet, whatever. Stock up on the yeast. Now, I had a 3-pack of yeast for like $1.30 or something. I bought like 5 of them things, you know. That's a lot of 2-week intervals that I can do this. And my own personal opinion, fill the bottles, your plastic bottles, all the way to the top. And when you put your Ziploc bag over there and you zip it, and you stick it in your container and you start walking along, if a little bit of it spills, don't worry about it. It'll go down in your bottle and help make the bottle all sticky for whenever you place it somewhere, the bed bugs crawl in and they crawl up the bottle. So, also, the main reason why I say fill it all the way to the top is so the CO2 gas that's created, you know, if you got a container this tall and the water is only this high, CO2 gas has to climb from here to the top of the water all the way to the top of the bottle to come out, over and down the bottle. The CO2 gas is heavier than air, so it naturally wants to fall down, according to what I've read on the internet. So you want to make sure that it doesn't have to build up to where there's a whole bunch of CO2 gas in there they finally come out. So if you fill it all the way to the top, any CO2 gas that's made automatically goes over the edge of the water and down the sides of the bottle. So I hope you enjoyed this video, because the next one I'm making is making biochar with my wood stove. I finally got it down to a good science, and I want to share it with people. What is biochar? Pretty cool stuff. It's basically like a fertilizer sponge. Soaks up all the nutrients around it, and then the plants will feed off of it, and it lasts in your soil for thousands of years. It's just really cool stuff. Yeah, look up biochar on the internet, and you can use it in your garden, use it in your potted plants. Everything grows better with it. You know, as long as you inoculate it, as long as you let it get soaked up into the nutrients that you want it to soak up, and then you put it out there to wherever it is you want to put it, in the yard or potty mix, whatever, and it's awesome stuff. I can't wait to use it this spring. I got it in my garden right now, and I'm making more. Okay, this is John in Lawrenceville. I hope you enjoyed the video and the update. I probably won't do any more updates on these videos, so if you do have questions, please comment, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers just to go for a goal, you know. I got like a couple hundred already. I think that's pretty damn cool. Alright, thank you very much, and please write down what experiences you had with bed bugs and how you got rid of them, or if this is working for you, so that other people know that this works and they can do it too. Thank you. Have a nice day, because I sure am. Bed bugs not biting me anymore. Thank you.